it's Morgan. I just wanted to come to you today with 5 tips for eating out as a new vegan or someone that's transitioning. That's a big scary thing, right? It's something that we always imagine, like being alienated and not being able to go out with our friends, but that's not the case. So enough about all the things that could go wrong. Let's get into the tips. So tip 1 is know your menu. It's so easy to look up a menu online, or even if you're out with your friends, go in and grab the menu. Take a look before you guys sit down. It takes like 30 seconds to scan a menu. And when you're scanning that menu, it's okay if that restaurant doesn't have vegan options. A lot of restaurants don't have vegan options, but what you need to be looking at is what else is on that menu. Look at the sides, look at the appetizers. Look and notice that they have nachos and they have salsa with that, and they have a bean burrito that normally maybe they have cheese on, but you're looking at the ingredients. What can you piece together for a meal? And realistically, worst case scenario, just about every restaurant will have a garden salad and fries. So you're never gonna be left hungry. And that's an important thing. Don't go hungry. Okay, so tip 2, call ahead. I think a lot of us have anxiety about like questioning the server and asking if they'd be willing to make accommodations if they don't have something on the menu. And that's normal, right? Nobody wants to talk to each other. We're all texting these days. So to alleviate some of that anxiety and that concern, call them and just say, hey, I'm coming there tomorrow. I'm coming with a group of friends. I see that you don't have a vegan option, but you do have this, this, and this. Would you be able to make a meal for me? And chances are they're gonna say yes. So just go for it. Call ahead and prepare yourself, right? And maybe they can say, oh no, but we do have a vegan option. It's just not on the menu. You just never know. So call ahead and try and plan out the meal. See what's possible, see what you can do, so when you're going in with your friends or your family and you're sitting down, there's not a lot of thinking and there's no pressure. As long as you're polite and you're friendly, ask and don't be afraid. Which then rolls us into tip number 3. So tip 3 is ask. You don't know until you ask. Just because there is not a vegan option on the menu doesn't mean that they don't have something that they can get you, right? If you see that you're in a spot and it's a specialty is pizza and there's nothing vegan friendly in there, ask them. Be like, hey, does your pizza have egg or dairy in it, like your crust? No? Oh, that's awesome. Would you be willing to make me a pizza just without the cheese? Extra toppings instead. They're probably gonna say yes, because cheese is the most expensive part really of the pizza. And apply this to other areas, right? If you see a chicken salad, and maybe it's got some fruit and nuts and various stuff in like a vinaigrette dressing, great. Ask them, say, hey, can I get this salad, but just can you take the chicken off and give me some extra nuts and fruit? Or, can you reduce the price by $6 because really it's a garden salad as soon as you take the chicken out, right? Ask them, because you're not gonna know what the possibility is until you ask. Okay, so tip 4 is keep a note on your phone. There's going to be scenarios where you're going to have to just kind of go with the flow and ask questions. So instead of being anxious and worrying like, did I forget something? Was there something I should have asked about? Have a note on your phone of common questions, especially if you're new and you're just not quite sure what to ask in the moment, right? Again, back to the anxiety, back to feeling a little bit weird, being out with a group. Have a note that says, okay, I'm going to ask if that rice is cooked in chicken stock. I'm going to ask if there's any eggs or dairy in their burger buns. Like, just kind of have a few things that you're going to tick off and kind of prompt to, because it'll make it easier, it'll make it second nature, and eventually you'll just get it and it won't be as hard. And you're also going to learn the questions that stump people and the questions that they get. So sometimes you'll ask something and they might look at you like you have 3 heads, and that's okay. Just reword it. Find a better way to ask it. Come at it from a different angle, and eventually you're going to figure out what is the most effective and what's going to get you where you need to go. So final tip, tip 5, is advocate for yourself. This is so common. We worry about not wanting to be the odd one out or the vegan that's talking about veganism, right? We don't want to be a stereotype, so we often will kind of just shrink in the corner and we'll end up going somewhere we don't really want to go, or not having any options. So if your friends are talking about getting together, right? Let's say they want to go to a steakhouse and you're like, well, obviously there's nothing to eat for me there. Then you got to go and say, hey, like, why don't we go to this place over here? I can get a falafel and you can still get a steak, right? Work with people and ask, talk about what you need, because they don't know, you're just learning what you need. And you can't expect that your friends and your family are going to know or going to get it. So make sure that you speak up and just say, this is what I need, or this would be better. Can we make a switch? And like I said, it doesn't have to be a vegan restaurant. If you have family and friends that are up to a vegan restaurant, I think that's great. Go there and suggest that. But if they're not, you can find a middle ground. But to just kind of dismiss it as, well, nobody's going to want to eat where I want to eat is silly. Find a middle ground, advocate for yourself, and try and make it work with the group. So that's it for today. Those are my 5 tips. I hope that was helpful. Thanks so much for listening. Be sure to subscribe and like this video. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.